Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Tomkins. Today's top stories. The Taoiseach says that tens of millions of euro is available for Waterford's North Quays project. Full NCT certificates won't be provided to drivers until an audit of the testing equipment is carried out. British Airways says it's now cancelling all flights to mainland China until the end of February. And in sport, Waterford's Thomas Ahern has been named in the Irish team for tomorrow's Under-26 Nations opener against Scotland. The Taoiseach says he hasn't spoken to Fianna Fáil about their plans for the North Quays in Waterford if they get into power. However, Leo Varadkar says tens of millions of euro is available for the project. It's after concerns were expressed that the contract signed between the developer and Waterford Council stipulated that funding must be delivered by a deadline of January 31st, which is tomorrow. However, despite his commitment, Leo Varadkar hasn't discussed the plans with Fianna Fáil leader Micheál Martin.
But in fairness, I'm sure they would. You know, I don't honestly think that there's any political party that would be against developing the North Quays because it would be of so much benefit to the city and to the wider region. But the question I suppose that people have to ask themselves is which party do you think will be able to generate the finances, the revenues, the strong economy that's needed to fund a project like that and every other project that's needed in the region, particularly the expansion of the Technology University, which, as you know, is a personal project of mine. One thing that I'm frustrated that we didn't get over the line before the election for lots of different reasons, but one that I think we will see come to fruition in this calendar year.
The EU's chief negotiator says he will work to ensure the full implementation of the Brexit withdrawal agreement. Michel Barnier has been speaking as British MPs clear out their desks in Brussels. Today is the last full day of the UK's membership of the EU after 47 years. Mr Barnier says today is a sad occasion, but he'll work very carefully to protect Ireland's interests.
My job, my mandate for the last 3 years was and still is to organise an orderly Brexit, which is better than a disorderly Brexit for everybody, for Ireland, for the citizens, for the financial settlement, for so many sectors and so many people.
The RSA says it's made Gardaí aware that parts of the national car test have been suspended. The decision was made yesterday due to concerns over cracks in the lifts that are used to check underneath cars. All 47 NCT centres around the country are affected and a full audit is underway to find out the extent of the problem. CEO of the NCT, Grant Henderson, says customers will have to come back when the lifts are working again.
The test will be completed with the omission of the underbody inspection, which will be conducted at a later date when the lifts are returned to use. All other elements of the test will all be tested as normal. There'll be no additional fees incurred as part of this process. An inspection report will be issued at the time of testing.
The World Health Organization is meeting this afternoon to decide if the coronavirus is now a global health emergency. The death toll has risen to 170 in China, where there are almost 8,000 confirmed cases. And it's estimated that 8 Irish people live in Wuhan, where the virus originated. The Department of Foreign Affairs says arrangements are being put in place to help those who want to leave. Dr Mike Ryan from the WHO says countries like Ireland, where there are no confirmed cases yet, still need to be vigilant.
Those countries who have imported cases are clearly at full alert. Those countries who have not imported cases will obviously need to look at their readiness and preparedness. For some countries, this is a very straightforward task. For other countries who are fragile and potentially vulnerable, who already have weaknesses in their public health system, this is a challenge.
Focus Ireland says rents in Waterford have increased by 38% between 2016 and 2019. The organisation, which provides services for people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness, carried out a national survey. It found Waterford had the second highest percentage increase in rents, well above the average of 20%. Lisa O'Brien is Focus Ireland's project leader. She says a 38% increase is significant.
It's a huge significant increase that we don't see that level of increase in income or in social welfare. And of course, when you see an increase like that, the people who are marginalised even further are those who are on the lower levels of income or in receipt of social welfare.
And there's just over a week to go before voters cast their ballots in the general election. WLR's Owen Dalton joined independent Matt Shanahan on the campaign trail in Tramore.
Matt Shanahan came to prominence through the 24/7 cardiac care campaign before becoming a councillor. He topped the poll in Waterford City East in last May's local elections and is now seeking the support of the entire city and county for a Dáil seat. The councillor recently took to the large estate of Tramore Heights in search of votes.
Sorry to disturb you, and I know you've probably been canvassed already, Matt Shanahan.
Hi.
You're down. I just wanted to say hello. You may or may not be aware of the reason why I'm standing, but I'm the man who started the Hand on Heart campaign in Waterford for cardiac action.
Right.
And beyond that, also I've done a lot of work with the enterprise boards as a mentor, and in terms of new startups and that, I've been involved in a number of those, and I've been self-employed myself for nearly 18 years. So I know a lot of the challenges, but the main things we need parity of esteem for this region. We need it for our hospital, we need it for our university, we need it for structural monies coming. We're only getting 1/10 of the money that Cork Kerry is getting into the South East region presently. And you're paying tax and I'm paying tax, and I guarantee you didn't get a tax rebate, did you?
No.
For the money that didn't come, and I certainly didn't get it either.
It wasn't long before pensions came up at the door.
I think it was a very sneaky way that was brought in. People thought because they raised the pension age to 67 that you possibly would be working until 67, but that isn't the case. You've got to go and claim social welfare. They put you on job seekers allowance, and you're not actually seeking a job because you've been made redundant from the job that you absolutely loved. Absolutely ridiculous.
Housing and homelessness were among the big issues for this man.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who I'll be giving number one to, yes. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm thinking about it. Anyway. I am, and I will be voting. It's important to do so.
What are the main issues for yourself?
Truthfully, locally,
Yes.
what you're saying, Waterford, the hospital, the cardiac, that's very important. But just nationally, the homeless crisis would be the main thing I am concerned about. Yes. It's not on at this point.
And the funny thing here, because of the lack of economic activity here, all homeless at the moment are housed in Waterford. It's one of the few local authorities that we've housed all our homeless. They have options. They're not in hotels. Half the number of houses we're building than the national average, simply because of the lack of economic activity. That's what we need to address. And I think if we do that, we can do an awful lot for homeless and for socially disadvantaged, which we all want to do, obviously.
And of course, for people who, like myself, are first-time buyers, everything.
Yes.
And the rent as well, in Waterford, it's not manageable, really.
And because of the wage structure here, it's just, we're so much.
I think Waterford is high from looking. It's going up. It is going up. But are wages and things going up? No. So it has to balance out somehow.
The prospect of a university also arose at the doorstep.
Unfortunately, we are a city region under the strategic framework planning for 2040. So they've paid us the lip service, but they haven't given us the money, and we've got to get the money. Yeah. There's 38 million going into Cork Institute over the last half of this year. So So we're not getting it. There's a difference in saying.
Well, we developed a bit of a bad name about accounting strategy in WIT, as you know.
Possibly that wasn't solely WIT, and I think there's governance issues in a lot of the universities, to be honest with you. So,
I know that, yes, yeah.
And you can see government have announced, as you probably know, a 100 million fund in the Docklands for a Trinity Innovation Hub. We'd only like a small bit of that.
Former Tramore Independent Councillor Blaise Hannigan has given his endorsement to Matt Shanahan.
I think it's very important you have a very strong independent voice in the Dáil, and the only candidate that fits that bill is Matt Shanahan. Well, I think the selling part for Matt is the cardiac care, because anytime you go to a house, when most people would know me anyway, people didn't know me, once they mentioned Matt Shanahan, 9 times out of 10 the people know who he is, because he's been so strong for the cardiac care in Waterford.
Matt is hoping there remains an appetite for change come the vote on Saturday the 8th.
It's hectic, to be honest with you. It's taking its toll, as I said before. I describe it now as a sprint that's is done over a marathon distance. That's what it is. I am angry, and this is eventing. It's very much eventing. When you're on the doorstep, you kind of feel at least we're doing something now. And I think it gives you an opportunity to kind of hone your thinking as well in terms of what are the key priorities. And we're trying to deliver for Waterford, and we have an incredible team behind us. And I think that just shows the appetite that is there to do something different and to try and deliver for the city and county.
WLR Sport.
And a very good afternoon. I'm Gavin Whelan, starting with rugby, and Waterford's Thomas Ahern has been named in the Irish team for tomorrow's Under-20 Six Nations opener against Scotland. The Ardmore man is included in the second row for the clash at Irish Independent Park. Thomas has gained huge experience in recent seasons and featured during last season's Grand Slam winning campaign. Ulster Academy back row David McCann will captain Noel McNamara's side. Kick-off for that one in the Cork venue is at 7:15 tomorrow evening. Next to news of soccer, and the details of a deal to secure the future of the FAI are expected to be revealed this afternoon. A bailout negotiated with the government, UEFA and Bank of Ireland will provide the association with the €18 million needed to prevent insolvency. The FAI currently have debts in the region of €70 million. Shamrock Rovers sporting director Stephen MacPhail thinks the establishment of an all-island league is a no-brainer. Representatives from clubs from the League of Ireland and Irish League will meet in Dundalk later to further discuss the proposed league with Kieran Lucid. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp is only focused on delivering a first Premier League title for the club and not breaking records. His side moved 19 points clear at the top of the table with a 2-0 win over West Ham. Liverpool are unbeaten in the top flight this season, winning all but one of their matches and are on course for a record points tally. But that doesn't interest Klopp.
We are Liverpool and we have a proper history and everybody knows what we have to do, and so the motivation is to reach that and not any point records. If that will happen as a side effect, we take it, but we are not overly concerned about that.
Gaelic Ames and the Waterford Hurlers will be aiming for back-to-back league wins away to Westmeath on Sunday afternoon. Liam Cahill's men pipped Cork by 124 to 317 in a thrilling round one encounter in Welch Park last week, while Westmeath lost by 17 points to Galway. Former Waterford and Westmeath boss Michael Ryan says that the Lake County are down a couple of key players.
Well, I wouldn't want to be playing down Westmeath now, but there's a few guys missing that they can't afford to be missing. I think that they might be short 3 or 4 for starters, but from Waterford's point of view, I'm sure they'll approach the game in the proper fashion, and after a very good performance last weekend, Westmeath will hopefully lift that game. But from Westmeath's point of view, I mean, last Sunday they only scored 2 points in play. That has to be a worry. But having said that, I suppose they lost their best whole line. Gislack, the captain, was sent off for 2 yellow cards, and playing Galway with 14 men in Salthill is not a good idea.
Throwing in Cusack Park, Mullingar is at 2 p.m. Michael Ryan will join Kieran in the commentary box. The game will be broadcast live here in WLR. That's all thanks to George Corbett. Skoda WIT hurlers seek a place in the Fitzgibbon Cup semi-finals this evening. Fintan O'Connor's side take on Dublin outfit DCU. Throw-in for that one in the capital is at 7:30. Waterford strongly represented on that panel. And in racing, the Henry de Bromhead trained honeysuckle has been declared for the Irish Champion Hurdle at the Dublin Racing Festival on Saturday. Stablemate A+ Tard will run in the Dublin Chase. In that one, action has just gotten underway even in Limerick, where there's an 8-race car taking place this afternoon. That's the latest on